Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Lord, so I pull up to the restaurant this morning, and so our time it was about 3:10 or 3:15, and we get homeless people up and down May Avenue anymore, like any major city. And somebody's bags are out on this little bench out in front, and you're kind of on guard because I don't see where the person is, and it's this real. God, she looks like one of my kids, about 23 or 24-year-old girl,
Uh-huh.
mousy is scared and shit. And I'm like, okay, this is when I find out how Jesus-like am I actually when it comes to homeless people. And you're right. I know. I
Mm-hmm.
know. Right. We all think we are, and it's easy to donate and it's easy to drop a check. But what do you do when it's actually in your face? The last guy tried to stab me. No, he didn't try to stab me, he tried to hit me with a board. So I brought her out some food and some coffee and stuff. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And I said, I'm here at 3 o'clock if you need some safe place to be. Jesus. Dude, that
Oh,
was
wow.
heartbreaking. Yeah.
Yeah, people, I mean, those are the moments where you realize whether you're a nice person or not.
Right. I know. I know. And in all honesty, I want to preach that I am all the time, but sometimes I still have a business that's got to run. So, you only get to do so much.
I'll tell you something
Okay.
weird that happened 2 days ago where I was on the street just walking and some dude stopped
Yeah.
me and he was like, "Hey, I'll give you a phone number and I'll give you like this much cash right now. Can you just transfer this money to that number?" And I was
No,
like, "No, I am not doing this."
absolutely not. You'll be in fucking prison next week. I mean, you will be in gosh darn prison next week. So the best scam I had anybody try to run on me was in Paris. And this random person comes up and goes, "Hey, man, I found your wedding ring. It's right here." And I go, "No, mine's on my hand. It's not mine." "Oh, okay. Well, here, you can take it." And I go, "Absolutely not. It's not mine." And he goes, "No, really? I mean, you can take it." And I go, "Absolutely not. It's not mine. For one,
Mhm.
I don't want it. For two, it's not mine." And we go on this back and forth thing. And then I watched that get worked on somebody else a few days later. But I literally almost had to, and I guess what they do is they get you at being part of the scam so you feel bad,
Ah,
for a while you're in on the scam. It's a good one. I've seen most of them. I've been around, but yeah, so I am at a series of last things at this point. So I had my last widows group. It's called Grief Share. It's not really a widows group because everybody's got different stuff last night. And at the end of it, they were like, "Is there anything we could do any better? Is there anything about this that wanted you to keep from going?" I was like, "Man, this was very Jesus-y." And she was
mhm.
like, "What?" And like three other people at our table was like, "Yeah, yeah, there's a lot of Jesus coming at us."
I like the fact
And
that you'll go to meet in a like a widow's grief counseling thing, and it's
at
all
a
about
church,
religion.
right? So here's the thing for people who don't know, my wife died back in February. And so what I have done is I've taken the advice from professionals of stuff to do, which is what you should do. Don't take advice from friends, take advice from professionals. And I found this really pretty nice. There are like groups of 8 of us. And last night, since it was the last night, the church bought us dinner. Now, this is not a church I attend. I'm not an evangelical. There's something about it's just not my thing. You know,
Mhm.
and I suppose having grown up Catholic, I have my own opinions on everything, but I don't get along with my own church. I want to do the actions. The other stuff kind of bother me. But then on Monday, Deepak, is my last night as vice mayor and city councilman and all that stuff.
Oh, you
So
are
one
out of
thing to
the village
right, like
politics after I think a decade of
I know,
me knowing you.
right. And so this would be neither Kathy nor I involved in running the city. Yeah, for
Mhm.
that long. So and the city's done well.
Yeah,
Nobody, no, trust me, nobody's complaining. But isn't that crazy that's where we're at? I
I
know.
know.
Shit, it's just happening, bro. But in the
You know, we're
meantime, I'm still making bread and cleaning toilets that are inappropriately messy. And folks, what I mean by that is if you drop a bomb in the bathroom, clean up after yourself. What's going on in your world, man?
my world is that I don't know if I sound any weirder because I have the flu for the past couple of days.
Oh,
And
you got the COVID, man. How do you have the flu in summer?
I know it's miserable because it's like 100 degrees outside and I need a jacket.
Lord.
Yeah, I'm
So
like,
you're
where's the jacket?
freezing while
Mhm.
everybody else is complaining.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
That is kind of quintessentially British, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah. What can I find in here to complain about? Fuckery. Fuckery. Yeah, so I'm making bread this morning, and hey, the movie premiere went really well. So we sold out except 2 seats, which I mean that's a sellout.
Mhm.
And so I had this the first trans person I ever met named Paula Sophia, and she's now probably in her 60s. Used to be an Oklahoma City police officer, and came out and all this other stuff, and it went about as planned. You know, terrible. But so she came up, and that was the one that moderated the after talk. And I got to tell you, for every seat being full but 2, everybody stayed. All the food was eaten except chip. You know, I had little bags of chips as well. So I still got some of those, but everything else was gone. Yeah, it was nice. And then people are like, "You need to do this more," and I go, "Well, I got till Monday. I literally got till Monday."
Refresh my mind about the movie in case.
Okay. All right. So, folks, all I want you to do is keep your mind open when somebody talks about the Bible. And so the movie is about the year 1946 at Yale University. There was a convergence of people for the previous 15 years that were coming up with changes to the Bible. And that 1946 is the time when homosexuality had never been mentioned in the Bible ever. And then in 46, it was brought in, and then it was put in different chapters as well. So, but there are letters from the person that ran the group at Yale, from some other person, I believe they're in Minnesota, who was objecting, saying that's not what it means. It was a Greek word that meant male and then sex, not man on man or woman on woman or anything like that.
Mhm.
And it was a hierarchy thing. So if you were in Greece and you were an aristocrat and you were either buying or selling boys, which still happens these days in Brazil and India and any impoverished country, this is still happening a lot.
Mhm.
But it was the people in power abusing these boys is how they studied it. That was actually the thing that you don't go to the kingdom of heaven for whatever that's worth. So it was an in-depth study of that, along with somebody else's story. Her dad was a preacher that was absolutely would not agree that it's possible that there was a mistranslation. And then the daughter who did the movie came out with the movie, and then the dad wrote a book basically saying, scripture, read the scripture as it is. So you used to live in Oklahoma. I live in Oklahoma, which is the belt buckle of the Bible Belt.
Mm-hmm.
And so people are not interested in hearing that there's possible fallibility in the Bible. But being Catholic, we didn't study the Bible. We'd read, religion classes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fascinating. All we wanted people to do is keep an open mind. I didn't want it to turn into a protest. I didn't want it to turn into us versus them and anything else. But is it possible that this specific group of people, which now would include, trans and everything else. So the original Greek translation, and it's basically a made up word of 2 Greek words. So that movie was great. The after talk was great. And did we solve anything? Well, probably not. People are going to believe what they want to believe. I mean, they really are. And if you believe that the word of God,
Mm-hmm.
it came through 500 humans, and that's what you're reading on paper, I'm totally fine with that too. I mean, your religion's weird. My religion's weird. Everybody's religion is weird. I mean, we kind of, if somebody didn't ever teach you any of that and people told you about it, all of us would think the other people were weird.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay. And I'm okay with everybody being weird. I'm so, but it was, so that was to raise money for Defense for Democracy, which is a group that I'm in that fights against Moms for Liberty. And we've done a damn good job against Moms for Liberty. So they are fully funded with millions of dollars, and we have no money whatsoever. So we do film premieres to raise money to keep what we need to keep going are our researchers. because that's who
Okay.
finds out all the weird stuff on Moms for Liberty. And you find out who their funders are, all the weird activities that the state chairs are doing and everything. And yeah, so I put up on my Facebook the podcast between the two ladies started it.
Okay.
And she and I did an hour-long podcast. If you get time, listen to it while you're having the flu. It's solid.
Oh, for
And
sure.
she's smart. Yeah.
I'll check that out too. Better than the rubbish both of us talk about, Sean. It's fine.
So that one just basically tells you the Oklahoma version. So in different states, they're fighting different things, but a lot of it, this same white Christian supremacist agenda is going on in any state in America that's not populated well.
Mm-hmm.
And because that's the easiest places to donate to campaigns and pick up a few votes in their House or Senate. It sucks, but we are in such a weird place right now. As you and I have said, what, about 1,000 times?
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure we cover it at least once every podcast.
Right. So since I no longer will have a title of after Monday, do I get arrested at the next state school board meeting?
I think so, because now you're not a public official anymore.
Right. I know. So did you catch the lady that got arrested there? Did you catch that deal?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
What did happen?
All right. Well, we got at least 10 minutes, right?
Oh, yeah, we do.
Okay. Let me explain to you folks how big of a shit show all of this is. So we have to go to an Oklahoma State Board of Education meeting. We've got a white supremacist and a bigot that's running it all, and nobody cares. And we have an appointed school board by the governor of the state of Oklahoma. So if the governor and the guy running the schools, called the superintendent, are in something together, you can't stop them.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no breaks, there's no Second Amendment, there's no third, there's no rules to get rid of either one of them or anybody on the board. So we protest down there, and basically we're almost always protesting like book bans and stuff. I mean, just who would think now we're still doing this? So we stay out there all night, and there's a lady named Audra Beasley that's there with us, and she is a mom of 3, and her youngest son has spina bifida, so he's in a wheelchair all the time.
Okay.
And he hung out with us, and he rolls around, real personable kid, 7 years old, and talks to adults like he's an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. So we finally get into the meeting after spending all night out there, and I do have a new stalker, so I doxed him. Probably didn't go well for him. So we get in, and then they change all the agenda stuff around, so we speak last instead of first. And not only do they let a lady go through who's not a teacher under an emergency certification, whose husband literally pled guilty to abuse, and then her 2 sons work at the school, her 2 daughter-in-laws work at the school. This family has a lock on a school district.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Nothing even came up, no discussion or anything, just shoot her on through. And I didn't get to say anything because I couldn't talk till after they voted, which is not when they need to hear my information.
Yeah.
But typical. And then they didn't do shit. So same old BS.
Like basically fucking use bureaucracy to make this shit just more difficult for everybody to have a voice.
Right. And claiming the whole time you're helping children when you just let the abuser's wife, who was the reporter, she was the mandatory reporter and didn't do it. I mean, she's already failed, but we gave her a little extension to fail some more. So, all right, Audrey Beasley, she gets up and speaks. She's very passionate. What she wants is adult-sized changing tables in bathrooms of state and federal and city buildings. Because she's got a kid that's big enough and needs one. Does her stuff, it's really impassioned. And then right after her son is signed up to speak. So he's got 3 minutes, right? So the clock's ticking on his 3 minutes. The kid with spina bifida rolls up to the table. His name's Max, as if he's on the school board, and just kind of starts looking at everybody doing this. This brother gets ready to speak. I mean, it was straight out of a movie. Mm-hmm. And the brother's a little nervous and obviously uncomfortable in public. And he looks at the head and goes, "Why are you such a racist? And why do you hate people? Why do you hate trans people and gay people?" And then he stops talking and just stares him down. Now, you know, and I know more is said in the comfort of, or lack of comfort of silence than anything. And the kid just keeps staring. And it's just the tension's building and the tension's building. Finally, the mom turns. No, they called his time like he was out of time, which he was not.
Mhm.
The buzzer didn't go off or anything. It was a lie. The mom turns to Ryan Walters and goes, well, answer him. But she says she's a little loud at that point.
Uh-huh.
And they go, ma'am, you've got to leave the meeting. And she has a child in a wheelchair in the meeting, and her son is speaking, and you want this mom to now walk out of the room with all the people that won't do anything to help anybody. So she won't leave. And she goes on a bit of a rant,
Uh-huh.
which she didn't threaten anybody. She didn't move towards him or anything else. And that's the stuff that usually gets you arrested. You make an aggressive move. Didn't do any of that shit. And they literally threw out 6 highway patrolmen came in and arrested her. What none of the 6 did, and she was not resisting at all. She was yelling a little bit, call the attorney general and that stuff. Nobody looked after the kids. Nobody from the school board or the highway patrol. They took out a mom who had 3 kids in there for raising her voice. And you have a special needs kids and 2 other kids left behind.
Oh.
So we all called the dad and stuff, but it was an hour or so before anybody came to get him. Yeah, left him behind. And then the highway patrolman come back in. I'm like, hey, man, you guys got to do something with these kids. I mean, that's the law. You cannot arrest the mom and just leave the. So once again, these guys just look like the biggest, not just the highway patrolman, but, they had to be ordered to take her out. Look, in public meetings, it gets heated. People say stuff.
Yeah.
That's what public meetings are for. You don't arrest them for it. But that is where we are in Oklahoma politics right now. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So she made national news, all the local news. I mean, woo. And the pictures they took of her were really, graphically angry and stuff, because she'd been up all damn nights. Had some bread that I brought her from Vito's, but that's it to eat. So your sugar buzzes up. I mean, it's all designed to try to make people look crazy, but they still make themselves look like asses, even in the other people look crazy. Yeah.
I know, like their de-escalation and managing these things is like terrible, even though whatever they had to try doing it.
Right. Yeah, because they don't give a shit. That's why. Yeah, I mean, they literally, everything's just a formality to legally show that they're doing the work needed to stay in office.
Yeah.
So
what is the end game to all of this on their end?
So there's a thing called 2025, and it's a roadmap to the next Donald Trump presidency, and these thousands and thousands of people are on board to basically take down all of these institutions. That's really what's happening, and Republicans they're not even aware of it, because all they're hearing is the mantra every day of Joe Biden. If Joe Biden was as talented to do all the stuff he's getting blamed for, he wouldn't look like an old man having dinner suit. I mean, look, none of us are happy with him either. We literally have a guy in court right now that farts through court and falls asleep. He's tied.
Yeah.
Which also tells me polling is really screwed, because that is not what I hear in Oklahoma, in the reddest state, on the streets. It's not what I hear. So.
Those exit polls have been wrong for like 3 elections, Sean, right now.
Yeah. They haven't even been close. Right. So, yeah, that's all we got going on here, man. So the movie people are coming in Thursday. So I think we got enough time for one more story, or no?
Yes, we do. We're at 18.
Okay, so this lady sees my speech about this young trans kid that died after being assaulted in a bathroom, and so she calls me and goes, "Hey, I'm from Oklahoma originally. I'm filming up in Kansas. Evidently, they were at a penitentiary, and Melissa Etheridge was playing like a Johnny Cash concert." And that's what she just got done filming. Right. And so she's telling me all this stuff. And I was familiar with her name. One of those deals, and I don't know how it works in India, but you probably have 20 or 30 people in film that you know who they are. And anyway, she names up her projects, and I know. And I go, okay, well, let's set aside these dates. So she's going to follow me dropping off money at schools on Thursday, come back to the Irish Pub, and then goes, can you just have customers? And she goes, and I don't really care which side they're on, but talk about your political activism as a business owner. And I go, oh yeah, some of them don't like it. I mean, they tell me, trust me. And some are totally fine with it. That's why they come in. Yeah. And so that's what we're going to do on Thursday. That should be pretty fascinating. But this week we'll spend up the rest of the money we have. I think we'll be lightly over $90,000, and then we're probably done for this year, unless something happens to give us publicity.
That's awesome.
Yeah, $90,000. I know, right?
Yeah, pay off what, 90,000 worth of debt.
So, yeah, so it's probably around 30,000 meals is what you turn around and pay for. Yeah, not bad. I mean, I'm good. You know, Kathy would be thrilled.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. She'd be down there taunting me. You could have paid off 35. You could have. Yeah, she really wasn't that kind of person. So, yeah, I mean, that's, and then life just goes off a cliff. I don't have anything else going. I got like 2 political fundraisers, which I can put together in my sleep. That's it.
This is going to be fun. You're going to be like at the loose end and figuring out what to do.
Right. So in my grief class, their big thing is, what do you see your life being next? And I was like, my life's pretty fascinating. I mean, I like it. I like what I do. If I wasn't coming into the pub every day, I'd be drinking at the pub every day. I mean, it's fun. I mean, what I do is fun. I mean, coming in the middle of the night and do this weird shit out in front, she's not a meth head or anything, maybe some mental issues, but I'm good. But I do want to go see my family. I haven't seen them since the funeral. So I always hate to say that when you haven't seen, because then everyone's like, how are you?
Oh, yeah.
How are you?
The overly earnest tone, which I know they do have a good place, but
just for any of you listening, you don't have to say that. Just go, hey, what's going on, man? We already know the other stuff. If I'm still alive, everything's okay.
Sometimes you need to just let the elephant in the room just sit there quietly.
Right. Let it have some water. We don't have to talk to it the whole time. Right. So that's kind of the deal, my homie. How about you? What's going on?
I said I like that you're wearing the proper 12 t-shirt and I'm wearing your Sean Cummings.
Oh, the wig one. Hey, cool. Thank you. So look, here's the deal. Conor McGregor. Great fighter, great promoter, not the best whiskey.
I know.
And he drank enough before he quit drinking to know what good whiskey was. And I won't lie. I like the shirts. I like him. Is he crazy? Of course he is. Why does anybody think he wouldn't be crazy?
Yeah.
But probably could have done a little better. There's so much sugar on the back end of that whiskey that tells you it's not the best quality.
So when you look at certain people, you know that they just are there to get fucked up, and I think that's what he's created.
And that works. The people that do drink his whiskey seem to resemble him a little bit. Yeah, I think that's a fair call.
Yeah,
but we just killed our sponsorship deal with him. It's an interesting game because for people that don't know how liquor is made, it's basically most of the vodka, gin, everything that you have in America that's made in America is made in Atchison, Kansas, or Iowa. There are 2 companies, and you go up there and give them all your profiles of everything you want, and then you get these big, gigantic containers with basically ethyl alcohol, which is vodka at that point. And then you add botanicals to it to make it gin. And if you want it to be whiskey, it goes beer, does the yeasty beer, all the other stuff. So then it goes into these barrels that suck up stuff, put it back in, suck it out, put it back in. The liquor hadn't changed much. I mean, so it's fun to watch. I mean, so almost all vodka that you have, Smirnoff usually gets voted as the best. That just means it's probably been filtered 5 times. It's all bottling. Yeah. I'll tell you the long story of me trying to do my own vodka line and the head of liquor control telling me I can't.
I remember this when we tried branding it too.
Yeah, I don't want to get in a fight with those guys. They hold my license. We'll just leave it at that for now. Another day. I know. Crazy shit, bro. All right, man. My bread is getting done. How are we doing time-wise?
We are good.
I love you, buddy. Tell your mom and your sister that I miss them. And so once all this stuff starts ending, I can start planning for September, October. But you got to give me a better time date when it's not going to be 90 over there. I just can't. I can't do that.
As soon as it starts tapering off the temperature, I'll let you know.
How did the British stay over there? I mean, they're worse than me.
I know.
I just don't know how they muscled through it.
That's it, with the layers of shit that they wore.
Oh, God, yeah. And that was all wool. I mean, that's what they had. God. All that so a few people could get rich. That just sucks, man.
Mhm.
Oh, well. Welcome to capitalism. It was India where it was happening. I've been watching Dubai and Saudi Arabia's weather, which is just
Oh,
it's
yes.
crazier than yours.
My theory
Maybe-
the other day, without any scientific evidence, was that all our
Right.
monsoons have apparently gone and rained down on Dubai, which is why we're
Right.
rainless.
Right. That's why you don't have any water. Right.